Hits and hooks, just for the record, I have Nashville indie artist Jon Worthy here. Hi, Jon. Thanks for joining me today.
Hey, Matt. Glad to be on. Thank you for having me.
I want to ask you about your recent South American tour, but first, on Bandcamp and your website, you describe yourself as a grinder. There's got to be a bit of a story there. Fill us in. Great word.
Yeah, I mean, I've just been, I went to college for degrees that were not involved with music. I moved to Nashville with the dream of music. I worked um, a corporate job to support myself and my music career for many years. And I was fortunate enough to take the leap to full-time music about 4 years ago. Since I've become full-time music, I do everything myself. I'm totally do-it-yourself DIY.
Oh, yeah, really? Wow. Good for you.
I book all my own shows. I write all my own songs. I, set up my co-writes for collaborators. I produce my own music, create my own social media content. Everything that a record label does is what I do for myself. I love the grind and I just keep doing it because I'm chasing the dream.
Yeah, good on you. Good on you. So you're just back from South America, and you say you booked all your own gigs. How did that go? How did you work that, for South America? Do you have a lot of contacts down there you can lean on, or you just did a lot of phone calls?
Yeah, it was interesting how it developed. So last year, a friend was living in Chile, Santiago, Chile, for about 6 months. And she invited some friends to come stay with her, including me. So I set up a trip to go to Santiago just as kind of a tourist, pleasure vacation. And we started talking about maybe going to Argentina for a couple of days as a little side trip. And when I thought about Argentina, I thought about, oh yeah, I did a song with an Argentinian producer 3 years ago. I'm going to reach out to him. Maybe he'll be around. Maybe we could meet up, just whatever. So I did, and they responded back, Jon, we've been waiting for you for 3 years. We're going to do a music video. We're going to book some shows, and everything went really well. And on social media, this traction kind of started of like the gringo in South America, particularly in Argentina. And all these people started reaching out on Instagram, messaging me. And I was like, you know what? I should capitalize on this and keep that momentum going. I'm gonna go back sooner than I ever thought. So I booked all these shows using my new contacts in March. I ended up playing 14 shows in 18 days. And it couldn't have gone any better. It was super unique, and I already have 10 shows booked in September back in Chile and Argentina. So yeah,
good for you. When you do your gigs down there, is it all your songs, or are you doing some covers as well? Or it sounds like you really connected down there, so you got a big enough audience that can just play your own songs, kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean that's always been my thing. I'm not interested in really performing a cover set ever.
I hear you. I'm totally with you on that one. Yeah.
And that's just not who I am. I'm a songwriter, and I love performing my own music. That's what I'm passionate about. So that's what I always do everywhere I go. I always throw in like a cover too, especially I do a Rolling Stones cover of "You Can't Always Get What You Want" that people really enjoy. But that feels like it's taken on its own identity of like almost become a song of mine, because of how I play it and how I've interpreted it. But yeah, it's always my music.
Cool. What's it like playing with a bunch of different bands? It sounds like when you went to different cities, you'd pick up with a new band, or your producer buddy, maybe he set you up with the bands. I don't know. How'd that work?
So Argentina, I mean, in Chile, I played a show with a band when I was there in November, and I met a bass player. So I reached out to her. She said yes right away. And then a friend introduced me to a drummer. So that was my band in Chile, just a 3-piece. A different friend in Buenos Aires recommended a band to back me. They were guitar, bass, and drums. So together we were a 4-piece. And then in Salta, I had played with some guys in November, and they played with me. And they're 2 guitars, bass, and drums. So we were a 5-piece. Yeah, it's different. It's the songs sound different every time. People interpret the music differently. Some play it faster, some play it a little slower, but it's fun. It kind of keeps me on my toes, and like really, I have to really orchestrate, be a band leader, and kind of do a lot of signals with my guitar, hold it up to say it's stop, stop, stop.
Yeah.
But it keeps it really fun.
How much has got to go into it before you go live on stage with your new bands?
Not a whole lot. I have a set list written out that details the chords of each section of the song. And let's see, with each band, I think I did one rehearsal and then we played a show. So
and that was it, eh? Yeah, wow, good.
That was it. I mean, obviously, if I had more resources and money and time, we would do a lot more than that. But I'm dealing with limited resources here, so we gotta do what we can.
Yeah, you do what you got to do, right?
Yeah, it's rock and roll.
I listen to a lot of music, putting hits and hooks vignette series together. For some music, I say, oh yeah, maybe it'll work, save it, circle back later. When I heard your music, I instantly said, okay, this is great right away. I can use this. I wanted to play it as part of my show. And I think the why behind that reaction of mine is your passionate vocal style. And I'd like to talk a little bit about your song, To Love, first, which I'll be featuring in an upcoming episode. And I'm hearing that passionate, honest vocal style here, as I do in all your songs, really. How do you keep your music consistently passionate and, I would say, honest? I mean, does it come from your lyric story writing, or is it your studio setup, perhaps? Fill us in on how you keep that sort of level of, I would say, just passion, raw passion.
I think that's kind of who I am as a musician. Like when you meet me in person, I might come across as kind of like reserved or chill, or maybe some people have even said a little aloof. But as soon as I get on stage, like a switch flips and I become like a lunatic, like a wild man. It's just all my passion and angst and energy and frustration comes out of me singing my music and my songs. And I think that's the same way with my songwriting. I write from the heart. I write about a lot of heartbreak and traumas that I've experienced in life. And for me, I've never really done therapy. Music really is my therapy. Writing the lyrics, writing the sadness and the heartbreak down into a song is my therapeutic way of letting go of my emotions. And that's me talking to a therapist, is writing my lyrics and my songs, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
So I think that's why it comes out so emotional, is because that's my way of releasing what's inside.
Yeah, no, it's really great. And this song has some really fine falsetto vocals in it. I really love it. Is that, from a technical point of view, is that hard to do?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a self-taught singer. I think in that song, it just felt right to do the love in a falsetto when I go up there.
Oh, yeah. It's beautiful.
But it's interesting, particularly in the last like 6 to 8 months, I've been doing a lot more pop style songs.
Okay.
And I've been doing a lot of falsetto in those songs. It's, kind of adds to the catchiness of the chorus. So it feels good I feel like I have a pretty good falsetto, so I've been trying to utilize that more and get it into some songs, and it sounds really cool.
You do it really well. Did it take time to develop, or did it just kind of come naturally? Or
I think for that song, yeah, it just felt right. Like I started
really,
singing that way, and it came out. A lot of the time when I record my vocals now, I'll do like 5 or 6 layers of the same falsetto, so it sounds really big.
Oh yeah, okay.
But in To Love, I recorded that live, so it's just me playing the guitar and singing into one mic, and then the guitar was plugged into an amp that was being recorded. So that was all done live in one take.
Okay.
So I'm actually really proud of that song, because that's not how I usually record. I usually do several takes of everything and overdubs and all that stuff. So that was really cool.
I have a couple more questions, but let's listen to the song. Here's To Love, Jon Worthy.
Find myself in a constant state of questioning my life. I've been given everything you'd ever want to find, and every day I tell myself that things will come with time. Here I am broken. Here I stand, I have woken, so I wait to say I found the way to love. In between the broken cracks of what I used to be, came a man who seemed so confidently chasing dreams. Yet here I am, I'm still afraid of what it is I'll be. Here I go, I am faking all I know. I can't shake it, so I wait to say I found the way to love.
Jon, I'm interested in your arrangement choices here. I'm hearing bass, your vocal, and high-pitched guitar line. So you were saying that you're playing live the vocal and guitar. I guess that high-pitched is the guitar, right? Is there a bass in there? I thought I could hear a bass.
There's no bass, but I'm playing a consistent A string.
Oh, really?
With my thumb. So I'm doing the A string and the B string are the only two strings in that song. And I'm just moving my left hand to the different notes. So that's why it sounds kind of bassy.
It does. Yeah, it really does.
Yeah. And I do that a lot when I finger pick. I kind of only use two fingers, my thumb and my pointer finger.
Yeah.
And my thumb kind of acts as like the bass. And then I do the higher pitch notes with my pointer finger. So most songs of mine that you hear that are more finger picking, you'll kind of always hear that consistent bass note in there on the guitar.
It sounds like guitar is your preferred instrument. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So if I perform, you usually see me with either an acoustic or electric guitar, and obviously I'm singing. But I'm also a producer. That's how I make most of my money in music. So I'm actually in my studio right now. I have a MIDI keyboard, an analog synth, bunch of guitars, basses, all the plugins and stuff to make all the sounds that you hear in like pop songs and stuff. So I do a little bit of everything. I program drums. But yeah, if you see me live, I'm playing guitar and singing.
For a second song, I've chosen Who I Am. I chose this one because you're singing with a female harmony vocalist throughout the whole song. How do you go about working together in studio? When you've got two voices, they got to sync up and things like that. Is it really loose? You just go with what sounds right, or do you have it pretty much worked out ahead of time?
I'd say more on the loose side. So that song I'd already written and pretty much recorded, and then I'd started dating this girl who was an amazing female vocalist, and I said, would you want to sing? And she just added her harmony. She listened to the song and added her harmony on top. So I didn't really have anything. I said, yeah, that sounds good. Go with that.
When you're doing something like that, I guess you're probably working in your own studio. I don't know. Was this song cut in your own studio or in another studio?
That's Who I Am's an older song. I want to say that was recorded with my friend Joe in his home studio. And then, just played the acoustic guitar, sang my parts, and then we added the female's vocals.
So what's your instrument of choice when you're actually songwriting? Is it guitar or piano or?
Yeah, mostly guitar. I've done a lot of songs for television shows that are more on like the pop side. So like a lot of reality shows like the Kardashians, Selling Sunset, American Ninja Warrior. They if you listen, they pretty much constantly have music, sometimes instrumental, sometimes with vocals. That's more on like the pop ballad side. I'll write a lot of that just with piano chords.
Mm-hmm.
I'll start from scratch with piano chords and kind of come up with a melody. But if I'm writing a song for me, I would say like 95% of the time I'm starting it on the guitar.
That's really interesting. So when you're getting these contracts to do the songs for the shows, I mean, it is a contract. They say we need a song that does such and such, or do you have a bank of songs and you sort of peddle them through the sync houses?
Yeah, so the same company has a lot of my catalog, like my Jon Worthy artist songs that they do pitch, but most of the placements that I've gotten in shows has been from what you described. So like they'll send me what's called a brief,
Oh, okay. Wow.
and they'll say we need a 2-minute and 20-second song to sound like these two songs with these lyrics, mentioning these keywords with this structure. Can you do that in 4 days? And then
Yeah.
you have to write and produce it and mix it and sing it and everything. So I've gotten like over 400 placements with those.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, good for you. Wow. And that's through your Nashville contacts kind of thing?
Yeah. Well, it's a company in LA. My ex actually hooked the same girl who sang on Who I Am, set me up with them.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, and then I've had a couple songs, like my song Help Me is a song that I wrote for myself about me that found its way into a Netflix TV show. So that's really cool because that was just a song that I wrote with no expectation. It's just a song that I felt I needed to write.
Yeah.
And it found its way into a TV show, which is really cool.
Let's have a listen. Here's Who I Am, Jon Worthy.
I love the way you move. I love the way you groove. I loved everything you do, and then you cut me loose. There's so much to say. I tried every way. Distance was something I couldn't change. I watched you fade away. I don't know who you are. Time has grown us apart. Tell me one thing, allow me this one thing. I wanna know how you are. I'm no stranger to pain. Every day feels the same. No matter what I do, I refrain from all the ways life has changed. I don't know who I am. All these days seem to blend. But tell me one thing, allow me this one thing. I wanna know who I am. I can't take this, I've been faking so long. I'm tired of feeling so goddamn alone. Some days are amazing, but something must change. I feel like my life is wasting away. I don't know who I am. All these days seem to blend. But I got one wish, allow me this one wish. I wanna know who I am. I wanna know who I am. I wanna know who I am.
So you have a song where you want to have a strong harmony vocal presence. Does knowing that affect your songwriting process? Maybe leaving more space, or do harmonies always sort of come secondary? You have the song and then okay, it needs an extra voice here or something.
Yeah, I would say harmonies are more on the background for me. Like, oh, a harmony would sound nice here. Let's how am I going to add that in? Am I going to sing it? Would a friend sing it? Um, it's never like, oh, this song has to have a harmony. But usually they do. I do have some type of vocal harmony in every song, but it's more of like just going through it after the fact that the song's pretty much done and just adding it on top.
At what point do you start arranging for the record? You've got a song, the song is done, you got chords and lyrics, and then you start thinking about arranging, or maybe the arrangements are part of the songwriting process. How does that work for you?
I mean, I guess how I would answer that is like songwriting is arranging, like the structure is part of writing a song. So, usually I'll come up with whether it's a verse or chorus melody that goes along with the chords. And then I'll continue to expand into, to verse two, chorus two, maybe a bridge and get the whole song written and then finalize the lyrics. But the way I've been doing it for the last 3 years is I write a song, maybe I'll release it a year from then, 2 years from then, whatever. I always have a backlog of songs that are done and ready to release, and I release them one at a time. And then when I decide it's a good moment, I'll package it as an entire album. From what I've observed, very few people have the fan base to release an album and have people go listen to 10 or 12 songs in one sit down. Human beings just don't have the attention span anymore. So I think it behooves you as an artist to just release one song, let it out there for 4 to 6 weeks, and then you release another song, and then maybe a different group of people can hear that song, and then they'll go back and listen to the song you just released, So keeping the momentum going. And then eventually when you've released 12, 13 songs in a row, you just package it as an entire album, as a collective of work, is kind of how I've been going about it.
Interesting. So wearing your songwriting hat, what comes first, music or lyrics?
Music, followed very closely by the melody. It kind of goes hand in hand with me. So it's like playing and kind of singing gibberish to get a melody. And then usually a phrase will just come out of me during that time that will probably find its way into the song.
Uh-huh.
And then the hardest part for me is like putting each specific word into the melodies. That takes the most time. But it comes like pretty quick to me to be able to just come up with the music and a basic melody.
And a melody.
And then trying to find like exactly what I want to say or what I want to write about takes more time.
Nashville. You're living in Nashville. What's the Nashville scene all about from your perspective?
It's an interesting place. There's a lot of different groups. So you have your people that are just trying to be songwriters and get like a publishing deal. You have your people that are just trying to be artists and tour and play shows. You have your producers that are just trying to make tracks. You have the industry, all the record labels, the publishers. So there's all kinds of stuff going on. I'm kind of like doing all that. I feel like you need to be a jack of all trades in today's world to survive. My artistry is my favorite thing. It's what I spend the most time on.
Mm-hmm.
But, I also produce songs for money. I write songs for money. I sing songs for money. I collaborate with people to make songs maybe for their artist thing or for just a joint collaboration. It's definitely an interesting scene. Like you just have to kind of find your own little niche because so many people are doing it that it's not like one big family. There's you really have to find your own group of people. And there's all kinds of music, country, rock, pop, Americana, some hip hop. There's everything here.
I guess at one time Nashville was country, right?
I mean, it still is. That's the predominant for sure, especially with the industry.
Yeah.
Like that's where all the country songwriters are and the session guys. And then LA is more like the pop scene.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'd say it's like probably 60 to 70% country. And then, the rest is filled in by Americana, pop, rock, everything else.
So you moved to Nashville for your music, I gather.
Mm-hmm.
Does Nashville really help? Lots of studios, lots of other musicians to link up with, networking, all that.
Yeah.
Made a difference for you? Yeah.
I think it's the biggest thing, what you said, is just the people when you ask someone to write a song or to collaborate on something, you know that they're most likely taking their music career very seriously. So you know that when you meet up with someone to work, it's going to be taken seriously. Whereas opposed to maybe you live in some other town and there's not that many people that are like really pursuing music. So maybe it's just like an afterthought. It's a hobby for them, or it's something they do when they're not working. I think that the fact that it's taken so seriously and so many people are trying to pursue it for it to be their livelihood is the biggest thing. And that kind of leads into networking, just all the people doing music. So they have people that they know, and then that just cascades into other opportunities. And then, yeah, of course, there's a ton of studios and stuff like that. But I think the networking and the fact that so many people here are trying to do it full time is the biggest thing.
Is Nashville like all about making records, or is there a strong live music scene there as well?
Yeah, there's a good live music scene. Songwriting, I would say, is definitely like the main thing here. This is where the big country stars live, and they have teams of people that write songs for them and produce the songs in the studio. I would say that's the number one thing, but there's all kinds of venues, tiny venues, medium-sized venues, large venues. We get all of it here.
So say I'm visiting town, where would I go to hear the indie artists working it out live?
Yeah. You'd go to like the Basement, the 5 spot where I'm playing in June.
Oh, yeah.
It's a tiny little venue. It's like maybe 100 people max. Basement East is really cool. It's more like 500-600 people. The Ryman is very famous. That's more like 1,000, 2,000 people. But yeah, the Cobra's a tiny little venue. You would see some indie bands.
Nice.
And then there's a few more that I'm forgetting. But yeah, there's all kinds of spots.
So you have a huge catalog of original songs and records. I know your music from Jamendo. I know you're on Bandcamp, Spotify, Apple Music as well. For people listening in, I'll put those links to your music and your website in the description that goes along with the interview. But Jon, what's your next project? Another tour, writing, recording, all of that?
Yeah, it's constant. It's constantly a fluid thing. Like it's always changing. So I'm going to Tulsa, Oklahoma in a couple weeks to play some shows. In May, I'm going to Jackson, Mississippi to play some shows. I have a song coming out. It will probably be out after, before this interview is even released, but it comes out Tuesday, April 7th. I'll have another song probably come out in May and June, July, pretty much another song for every month the rest of the year. I just started planning a European tour for the end of July into August.
Okay.
I'm going back to South America in September and doing a bunch of collaborations with some South American artists and producers. Yeah, it's constantly in motion and things are always changing and being added and being taken away. It's kind of the life you live when you're doing it all yourself. You don't have like official channels booking everything for you,
Yeah. So for people listening in, what's the best spot? Your website maybe to find out where they might hear you play around the world somewhere?
Instagram's probably more like my website now. Instagram and TikTok are kind of where I post like my life updates, constantly sharing stuff about music there. You'll see all my dates on my timeline and stuff. I've been adding my dates. I didn't do it for a while, but the past year I've been going back on bands in town. So it'll show up on my Spotify and YouTube. So you'll see my show dates on there. But yeah, if you go to my Instagram, my YouTube shorts, my TikTok, you'll see all kinds of little videos of me writing new songs, of me talking about music, my thoughts, my emotional trauma of the day or whatever. That's where you'll get the real Jon Worthy.
Very cool. Okay, I'll make sure those links get into the description. I'll take us out with song YW.
Yeah.
Beautiful song. What's the backstory there? And what's YW?
So when I wrote that song specifically, I was listening to this tiny little band out of Boston called You Won't.
Okay.
You Won't. So that's where the YW comes from.
Oh, I see. Okay.
It's this 2-person band and they play all these crazy instruments. And I just love their songs. Like 2 of their songs are 2 of my favorite songs ever. I fell in love with them. I still listen to them. And I wanted to write a song that kind of reminded me of their music. So some of the sounds you'll hear in that song, YW, are kind of borrowed from them. That's definitely how that song came about and how it came to be named.
Well, I want to thank you, Jon, for talking with me today. I love your music, and it's been great to hear your story. Keep me posted on new projects and things like that if you can.
Yeah, thank you so much, Matt. It's been great talking to you, and I appreciate all your questions and getting to share my story and talk about my music. It's been a pleasure.
Here's song YW, Nashville Indie artist Jon Worthy.
There's something here I can't define. I bet it's all just in my mind. I sense there's nothing left to find. Where do I look? Lord knows I've tried. I paid my dues, I did my time. I sold my soul, now give me mine. My friends, they've gone and moved away. I've kept on going, here I stay. Up in my tree, I'm so alone. I will not let this be my home. I said I'm scared, now let me in. I will not let this be the end. About time I said I'm gonna change. Now listen closely to what I say. I'm getting closer to the edge. Just come on in, I'll make amends. I wanna show you who I am. Here is my soul, please take my hand. I